Welcome to all of you. It's nice to see all of you back. This is I think, the last session that we are having in this Vidya Vritti series. It's been wonderful. The journey has been wonderful. So let's go through today's session. There are three eminent speakers waiting with three very interesting and very useful topics. Let's wait to hear from them. First, let's start with a prayer. Let's all close our eyes and do the prayer.
Hello, madam.
Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunattu, saha vidyam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Welcome all of you. I'm sure you all had a wonderful Diwali, and we are here for the last day's session. Last session of the Vidya Vritti series. It was so, with support of all of you, it went off so very beautifully. Thanks to everyone. And today we are going to go through the last session. We have, I request Meena Sriram to introduce the first speaker, and we'll go forward with the session. Yes. Yes, Meena.
Hari Om. Thank you, Amma. Hari Om to everyone. Welcome to this last session. So the first speaker of the day is Archana Soni, who is the principal of Chinma Vidyalaya, New Delhi. She has worked in many Vidyalayas before, schools before, like the Millennium School, Kurukshetra, Noida, and Indraprastha World School, etc. She has also received a number of awards like the International Teachers Award from British Council, Women in Education Award, Global Human Rights Protection Award, etc. and many more, of course. And she has actively been involved in the youth parliament, organizing the youth parliament. Political science is her subject, so I guess this is one of her passions. And she has also organized the UKIERI program in schools, which is networking with the schools in Delhi with regard to the schools in UK, and International School Award program for British Council in the school. And she's also bagged 3 awards for the same for 3 schools in which she has worked. So welcome Archana Soni ji to present the teacher's role in enhancing emotional resilience in students.
Yes, Archana ji.
Hari Om, everybody. A very warm welcome to each one of you, my dear friends, colleagues. A very big thank you to Shanti ji for being the mentor and guide. A very important topic that was given to me was teachers' role in enhancing emotional resilience in students. I think each one of us needs to be emotionally resilient, and we are role models for our children. I would like to draw your attention to certain alarming facts. In the Times of India, it was mentioned that 1 student commits suicide every 55 minutes in the country. 150 students committed suicide in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana in 2017-18 academic year. In the last 3 years, 26,000 plus students have committed suicide across India. The Indian Express has published a report which was submitted by to WHO, in which India is considered to be the world's most depressed country with most number of anxiety bipolar disorder cases. According to a report which has been submitted to World Health Organization, every 40 seconds someone loses his or her life due to suicide. Around 1 in 5 of the world's children and adolescents have a mental disorder. Almost 800,000 people die by suicide every year. Suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death in individuals aged 15 to 29 years. Seeing all this, the WHO started an initiative to observe World Mental Health Day. And the main focus was to raise awareness about the common psychological conditions and remove stigma attached to them. What is the way forward? The way forward is to develop emotional resilience. Developing emotional resilience right from childhood does lead to an emotionally balanced human being. Emotional resilience is a component of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to bounce back after a setback and to thrive in the midst of challenges. Emotional resilience rests upon strong emotional intelligence. To be resilient, you must be aware of your emotions. You must have strategies to respond and to engage with the emotions. A look at what is emotional resilience.
I want you to do everything that you can to knock your toy down. Who is the strongest in class? Jerron, come on up, please. I'm going to give Jerron a prop, and he's going to try to knock it off the table. Ready, Jerron? Okay, children, who can tell me what it means to have resilience? Yes, Paige?
Resilience means if you make the toy fall down, it'll come back up very, very fast.
Very nice.
Way back in 1965, Pujya Gurudev, realizing the important role that students are going to play, emphasized on giving them a healthy physical and mental atmosphere for growth, ingrain in the children respect and love for all living creatures, inculcate team spirit and national fervor, and pride in our haloed divine culture. This was aptly concretized in the Chinmaya Vision program, which is an extremely powerful program. The more I'm seeing it, the more I'm learning. It is a holistic vision to see life and world as a whole. I do consider Chinmaya Vision program as the front runner and pioneer in mental development, emotional quotient, as well as for value-based education. Today, NEP 2020 also talks about emotional resilience, and it emphasizes on that. Now, mental development, what does it aim at? It aims at creating learners who are emotionally balanced. It helps them to live in harmony with themselves and with the world. Evaluating emotional well-being or emotional quotient of the learner and guiding the learner towards greater emotional stability and strength is critical in these days of ever-increasing distractions, agitations, addictions. We may find very, very highly educated people with very low maturity. We have ambitious youth, but they have very little staying power. Therefore, it is the school that takes the prime responsibility to take active care of the mental health of the students. Facilitators, we are all educators. Beginning, we are educators, and right through the end, we are educators. The facilitators are role models. And teachers with strong emotional resilience can guide students to the way forward to develop their emotional resilience. It is vital for the teaching learning process and for the holistic development of learners. Therefore, it is equally important for us as leaders, us as educators, to basically develop our own emotional resilience. So I'm going to go very briefly into these points. We face scathing feedback, be it from our superiors. The idea is to accept that emotion that we are facing, but it should not make a house in our mind. We should not be an island. If we need support, we need to reach out, ask for help, and support others as well. Have a great and a good work-life balance. Have a hobby. pursue it, do something new, and nurture your relationships outside office. Please take care of your health. And that goes for all human beings, especially teachers and educators. It is important that we take care of our physical and mental well-being. Let us say together that we are humans. We can make mistakes. We will encounter difficulties. It is okay if we are sad, disappointed, angry, and upset. But the idea should be to learn from these emotions and learn from our mistakes. Brainstorm your responses and plan out potential outcomes. For example, if I have managed to tick off Shantiji, I need to work harder on my key performance indicators to show her what I am worth of. Keep working at resilience. Why? Because resilience is a journey. Keep reflecting, redraw your comeback plan. If it doesn't work, plan out another way forward. It is imperative as school leaders that we keep working upon our emotional resilience, and we also develop the same in staff and students. Structured activities like meditation, chanting, talks on spiritual evolution, studies of scriptures, positive thinking sessions, interdisciplinary approach to teaching, sharing of best practices, action research, collective celebrations, staff to map the goals and achievements are very helpful in building emotional resilience. Some of the activities that we can have during our workshops with the staff. This is a bingo activity where there are different columns: connect, develop, work, balance, and pivot. The teachers ought to have a look at them and see what they are doing. They can tick mark that, and they can also plan for the future. It's important that we go for a walk, listen to the favorite song that we just love listening to. Why should we only remember the yesteryears? Why can't we do it today? Another self-care bingo activity for teachers, which I particularly was very interested in, is that what do we do for ourselves? How do we have our time off and do something just that gives us pleasure? Waking up early, reading. I did a SWOT analysis. I sent a note thanking someone. I learned a new skill. These are things which a teacher ought to look into. She needs to contemplate, he needs to contemplate and take the way forward. As aptly put by Swami Chinmayanandaji, the teachers who are working in our institutions should not think that I'm only a school teacher. You are silently creating tomorrow's heroes, the mighty men of action, the creative people of tomorrow's world. The capacity to promote emotional resilience is essential to every aspect of teaching and to every facilitator. A facilitator must be very vigilant in terms of change of behavior patterns of students. Some of the areas where a teacher ought to be very vigilant is when a child is withdrawn, avoiding social contact, crying easily, being lethargic, talking or writing about things that really don't make sense. There is a change in the eating pattern and they become aggressive. However, it is important that we focus on developing emotional resilience. Why? Because it leads to greater academic achievement, positive relationships, socially acceptable behavior in the students, reduced risk of mental health problems. The role of the school and the facilitator is to develop essential life skills, of which emotional resilience is vital for all-round development. All kids encounter stress of various degrees, and today the peer pressure is one of the major stress that a child faces. It has been observed that learners who are emotionally resilient learn better, develop better, and are mostly well-adjusted and happy. Some of the strategies that are suggested, and I'm sure that each one of us is doing it in our schools, but I'm sure we can learn from each other as well. Some of the strategies to develop emotional resilience are: label emotions. Teach your children that emotions are important, they are part of life. And when they label those emotions, they understand what they are experiencing. However, make learners aware that a habit is to be formed, that it should not make a house in their mind. They should not linger on to a negative emotion for far too long. Let it pass. Demonstrating coping skills. Deep breathing exercises help learners relax and calm, especially in the face of stress. Meditation, chanting. It not only invokes peace within and increases memory and concentration, it also gives you the power to embrace and understand your own mistakes and other people's mistakes and accept them. This further promotes a growth mindset and gives the learners the message that mistakes will help them to learn and never to repeat again, and they can move forward, they can create their own path. Reading of scriptures promotes right thinking, which leads to right action, giving rise to happiness and peace. Bright side, always focus on the bright side. There is optimism. There's always a silver lining to the cloud. Therefore, when a child has been given when the child develops the habit of being optimistic and positive, it enables the child to see good things in life even when there are hard times. Learners need to be pushed out of their comfort zone. And at the same time, we need to develop their problem-solving skills. These are extremely important. Doing the same thing again and again in a controlled atmosphere does not develop a child. Therefore, problem-solving and giving them different testing, maybe situations would lead out to life skill development. So the first thing that we need to do as educationists is build a strong emotional connection, build a rapport with students. When the child is confident that, yes, I have a teacher who listens to me, they will approach a teacher and they will try to find solutions to their problems. Enable your children to make connections with their peers and at the same time develop in them the skill of empathy and listening to others. Connecting with others provides social support and strengthens resilience. A healthy risk-taking approach should be the norm for all teachers. A healthy risk pushes the learners to go outside their comfort zone. It leads to confidence building and self-esteem. Let the children know that the courage they show in doing something new, something difficult is more important than the outcome. It is often seen that when a child approaches the teachers, our basic approach is to lecture or explain. The better strategy would be to ask questions. The facilitator helps the child.
Voice is cut, Archana ji.
Okay. Ma'am, shall I repeat? Am I audible? Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Right now audible. Try and correct now audible.
All right.
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah.
Try and wind it up.
Yeah. So I'll just go through these points. When just ask children questions so that they can analyze the situation and come up with solutions. Do not rush to the rescue of children. Let them learn to find their path, enable them, empower them, and teach them problem-solving skills. When a problem occurs, rather than asking why, please substitute with how. How did this thing happen, so that they can analyze the situation and find answers to that. Help your learners by giving them voluntary work. Buddy system, Seva projects, it brings about a sense of empowerment in children and helps them to build their confidence. Maintain a daily routine. Children should be taught goal setting, because while they are trying to achieve the goal, they've gained confidence and they can face adversity. Nurture a positive outlook, because once they have a positive outlook, any kind of adversity, they do not get emotionally distressed. And I'm going to just skim further. They should be mindful of what they're doing. They should be in the moment, whether they are learning or playing. They should be taught how to accept change, because change is inevitable. Exercise, the physical exercise does help the child to grow mentally. And teachers, you are role models for them. Therefore, the teachers must also express emotional resilience. Another great strategy to enhance emotional resilience is storytelling. Tell them stories of famous people who have faced setbacks and have yet succeeded. Coloring in for emotional clarity. We can have a Mandela art. A child can be told to close eyes, think of a positive or a negative recent emotion they have faced, and then they need to color the Mandela art, thinking of the emotion that they experienced at that time. So the coloring reflects the emotion that they experienced during that period. Theater and education leads to creating empathy. Strong communicators relieve stress and maximizes learning. A glance at the role modeling for resilience. If a teacher shows affection and attention, the child feels loved and connected and seems to have a sense of worth. If the child sees the teacher to be a lady of strength, or a teacher, a male teacher of strength, they also learn how to develop strength and confidence. One of the activities that can be done in the class is, a child can think upon what are the behavioral traits that they will work on, and what are the things they need to let go of to empty the mind of all the negative emotions. Another activity where the child does an introspection is how they can help each other, at the same time how he can help himself or herself. At the end, there is a resilience mantra. And this mantra, I think, should be part of every classroom, every teacher. I will not give in to sadness. I will not let my thoughts control the way I feel. I will never ever give up. I will stay positive and work on a solution. My life is great with all positive and negative things in it. I allow myself to be happy no matter what. I am enough and I am complete. I thank Shanti ji for mentoring me, for guiding me. And it's been a pleasure to be part of Vidya Vritti, where I learned so much from my dear colleagues. Thank you all. Hari Om.
Thank you, Archana ji. That was a very, very expansive and explosive presentation that was done by you. I want to ask this question to all the teachers. Are you all aware? Today, the biggest concern for the government is that children are going through stress and children are committing suicide. This is a very, very major issue, which was not in part of the education system earlier. How many of us would like to accept that we have also been a cause for creating that stress? You have to think about it. Unconsciously, we are creating stress among children. You have to accept it. In the name of academics, driving children to perform, we keep comparing children. And every child goes through a terrible, terrible condition when they are being compared with some other child in the classroom. That's one of the biggest damages that are done by teachers. So we have to be consciously aware. Because the national education policy, a lot of emphasis is given to emotional resilience to students, which is to be achieved back. Because stress was never a part of education system in our country. Never. It was just a happy learning was the mantra in our education system. And who brought it? All of us have brought it inside. The stress has been brought by us. When you compare, when you, in the name of driving children to perform, we keep giving comments, we keep even written comments, which affects the child. You know, the brain gets affected to a child when their teachers correct papers with red ink. And you write, you are useless, or comments like that, or it's an absolutely poor performance. All that leaves a child with a completely emotionally unstable condition. So it is very, very important. The government is talking a lot about it, made a lot of noise in the national education policy about it. We need to strive on getting emotional resilience back, bouncing back. That was a wonderful video which Archana ji shared, that the toys which they bounce back. Whatever you push, whatever you do, it bounces back. So children need to be learned to look at life as a whole. The small thing happens, I'm not going to pull my, push my buttons and go completely depressed or stressed, but I'm going to come back. Doesn't matter if this one test doesn't go well, I'm going to do next and the next test well. That kind of a resilience is what is being taught. Fantastic presentation, and they shared so much of information in it. A lot of small things we need to take in our classrooms. Allow children, those who are helping each other, give them awards. We don't have to give only for the child who is coming first in the class an award. Have a system where you are going to recognize children who are good, children who are sharing, children who are helpful. There is one good child in the class, just see that I'm acknowledging it from my classroom, in my classroom or as a school. We acknowledge the child to say is an excellent skills the child has as a soft skill. And that's the only way to, endorse the kind of children need to have come back. They don't get upset with small things, they get upset. I think it's a very, very important topic. You can go on for hours together. I request all of you to take up sessions with your teachers and see how we can enhance emotional skills in our children. We talk about emotional development in CVP, but resilience has to be taught. Thank you, Archana ji. That was a very, very thought-provoking presentation shared by you. It's really wonderful. We are sharing all of this. Please take it up forward. And even one child from any of our schools go into depression, take the responsibility. What I have done wrong, what the school has done wrong, what as a principal I have not corrected in the school. That's a challenge to all of us. No child in Chinmaya Vidyalayas should get depression, go to depression, or become, stressed out, or, attempt even to kill themselves. That is something which is a very big challenge to all of us. Let's take it up. Now, I request Meena ma'am to introduce the next speaker. Yes, Meena ma'am.
Thank you, Amma. So we now welcome Mrs. Asha Lata from Vartaka. She has been the principal of that school, and she has been in the school for 24 years now, and she comes with 28 years of experience in teaching as well. And the most important thing about Asha Lata Amma is that she has encouraged the children in her school to participate in both the Bala Sevak program as well as the Chinmay Samshodhan. And she has herself attended the Parivartan in 2004, Chinmay Karya Kosha, Kala Sangam, Vidya Samanvaya, Chinmay Netratva, and she is active in all the activities that we request the schools to do. And welcome Asha Lata Amma to present Sustainability Strategies for Schools.
Hari Om. Welcome. Hari Om to all of you. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Puja Gurudev and Guru Paramparas. Respected Shanti Ma'am, Sri R. Suresh Mohan Sir, Meena Ma'am, and the principals who have gathered here. It's my pleasure to present the topic Sustainability Strategies for Schools. Let me start the program with the quote of Puja Gurudev. A greater future happiness can be had only by investing in the present correctly. Look after the present and the future will look after itself. My topic, that is sustainability strategies for school. What is sustainability? Actually, the strength of our school, it is sustainability. The meaning of sustainability, that is sustainable development, is the development that meets the needs of the school's stakeholders of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own. It means whatever we are doing for the present should be useful for the future generation to meet their own without any compromise. The objectives of maintaining sustainability. There are 4 objectives. They are to sustain physical environment of the school, to sustain the organization, to sustain academic excellence, and to sustain the academic activities. I'll come in detail later. And next is the need of sustainability. What is the need of sustainability? The need of sustainability to strengthen the school, to become the best in society, easy to upgrade and enrich, and to maintain credibility. That means sustainability helps to strengthen the school always and to make it as the best one in the society, and helps to upgrade and enrich the school, and also to keep the credibility, that means the quality of the school or quality of education. Again, the first objective of physical sustainability, that is sustainability in physical environment of the school. There are 6 points: infrastructure development, construction and maintenance of buildings with proper plan, laboratories and library, playground, parking facility, proper maintenance of electricity and water management. In infrastructure development, these are the 4 main points. I'll summarize it. Designing and constructing the building according to the availability of land with a long-term perspective. And classrooms should be spacious by having the modern technologies like STEM, cloud computing, and mobile style of education. Sewage facility and plumbing and electric wiring should be done properly by keeping the futuristic demand. And for all the above matters, proper maintenance should be done and documented for its sustainability. Next is laboratory and library. 2 points comes under laboratories and library. Now, quality items should be purchased for lab for its sustainability, and it should be audited by quality checking team like computers, chemical items in chemistry lab, etc. For library, purchase the book every year and it should be catered to the needs of children. And we are purchasing book for the library every year, and it should also be entered into the ledger and it should record it properly. Next is playground. Playground could be designed by interlinking 2 or 3 items. It can be done with the help of experts from sports field. More indoor games and martial arts could be promoted for the sustainability of sports. Parking facility, it is an important factor, and proper planning should be done for parking the vehicles by forecasting the demands in the increase of students. Next is proper maintenance of electricity and water management. Maintenance of electric equipments like fan, lighters, smart class projectors, computers, it is necessary for maintenance. It is necessary for every year, but proper maintenance needed for its sustainability. Next objective, that is sustainability in organization. There are 5 points comes under sustainability in organization. They are management, principal and vice principal, teaching and non-teaching staff, students and parents. In management, 5 things are under their control, that is framing vision and mission of the school. Service rules should be strictly followed. Management should consist of a director, president, chairman, secretary and board of trustees. Timely financial audit is needed for financial matters and maintaining blue book. I'll come in detail. First one, management. Management, they are responsible for framing the vision and mission of the school, and they should follow the service rule strictly for appointment and for all the matters related to the teaching and non-teaching staff or related to all the staff. The board consists of the chairman, secretary and board of trustees, and rules in the blue book should be strictly followed for taking all the decisions. And timely audit is needed for financial matters. That is very important. Next, principals and vice principals. 2 points comes under principals and vice principals. They are selection of principals and vice principals from Chinmaya fraternity could lead to sustainability. They will be aware of Chinmaya culture. So that is very important. So principals should set a goal in coherence with vision and mission framed by management. Next is teaching and non-teaching staff. Important 4 points, that is maintain Chinmaya culture, proper salary and proper motivation. Appreciation from management and principal, maintaining portfolio, get involved. First one means teaching and non-teaching staff should be aware of Chinmaya culture. So we should give awareness to teaching and non-teaching staff, especially to the newcomers. And we should conduct CVP sessions, and we should conduct satsang by acharyas. So through that way we can give awareness to teaching and non-teaching staff. Proper salary is also important, and motivation and appreciation from management and principal, it is necessary. Then keep personal file for both teaching and non-teaching staff by including their qualification, workshops and in-service course that they are attending, and make them feel that they are the part of Chinmaya family. And next, make them feel that the teachers, they are the teaching, not only teaching and non-teaching staff, they should have the feel that they are the part of Chinmaya school, and all the factors are necessary for sustainability. Next, students. Students, discipline, unity in children, catering to the needs of children, connecting students through alumni association. These are the 4 points. Students should be well disciplined, well behaved inside and outside the campus. and friendship between seniors and juniors. That also strengthen the school atmosphere, and the seniors should always be helpful for the juniors, and strengthening the alumni association. It is more useful for spreading our Chinmaya culture. And all these factors strengthen the sustainability for schools. Next is parents. Instilling Chinmaya culture in parents through satsang by acharyas and partnering the parents through various programs. Here means we should arrange monthly satsang to parents by acharyas. So it will, they will be able to know the Chinmaya culture. And the next one, partnering the parents through various programs. Here I would like to mention one thing. In our school, we are conducting Daksha, the Literary and Cultural Fest. We have started in the year 2010 until it continues. And most of the year we were including the parents, and we were conducting the items of parents, teachers and students. So we can have a close connection with the parents. And that is important. And a regular PTA meeting to get the feedback about the school, that is also important. Next is sustainability in academic excellence. That is the third point, comes under objective, that is continuous teaching, learning, assessment, adaptability, constant review from stakeholders, retaining efficient teachers, analysis of board exam result. First point, assessment of teaching learning should be constantly done. Then we can improve the academic side, and teachers could be ready to adapt the new methodologies of education, like using STEM, cloud computing, online classes, etc. Now recently we were all using the online classes, online platforms. Now if the teachers are aware of all the modern technologies, it will be very useful. Constant review from stakeholders is necessary for academic improvement. Always retain efficient teachers through proper motivation from the management and also from the principal side. Yearly, we should analyze the board exam result to improve academic excellence. After the board examination for 10th and 12th, with the presence of management, principal and teachers, we can have an analysis about the board examination. Surely it will improve the academic excellence. And all the factors will surely strengthen the sustainability of academic excellence. The last objective, that is sustainability in activities. See, the flagship of all Chinmaya Vidyalaya is the 4 aspects of CVP, the innovative and sustainable activities of school, which will come under physical, mental, intellectual, spiritual, that is integrated, patriotism, Indian culture and universal outlook embedded in Chinmaya Vision program leads to the fulfillment of Gurudev's vision of education. Next up, see the sustainable activities that we are giving in the following slides. This is Chinmaya Vision program and sustainable activities. Every year we are conducting various activities based on CVP. We should make it as sustainable so it will strengthen the school and the Chinmaya culture will spread in society, community, nation, like that. See the activities under which we are giving. Integrated physical activities, mental activities, intellectual, spiritual. Now in physical activities, yoga day, sports day, cleaning drive, balanced diet, medical checkup, first aid training. In mental, as mental activity, colors day, anti-drugs day, grandparents day, seva programs, medical checkup, first aid training. And intellectual, Vayanavaram, World Music Day, book exhibition, meet the author, English fest, various other exhibitions related to science, SS and maths. Spiritual activities, that is Seva Day, Guru Purnima, Madhura Puja, Aradhana Day, Satsang, Ramayana celebration, And no, the other activities comes under patriotism, Indian culture, and universal outlook. These are all. We have to make all the activities are sustainable. Surely it will strengthen the sustainability of our school. And next, the Diksha, the skilled one that I have already mentioned. This program we have started in the year 2010 until it continues. Now, parents and students' participation is very important here, and it's a sustainable activity which help us to make the parents and the other people to have a close contact with the school. The last, entities in the school's sustainability. And unique, in a nutshell, the management, academics, and school activities should go hand in hand for the sustainability of schools. Before concluding the session, I would like to express my deep gratitude to CCMT, Education Cell, Shanti ma'am, Meena ma'am, and for giving me this opportunity to present the topic. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma. Thank you so much, Ashlata ji. That was a very, very beautiful presentation. The sustainability is the key for all schools, because I have seen the school which was on the top of the city once upon a time, and suddenly you will see the school is nowhere now. The school has got lost all the glory that it has earned. I have examples. I don't want to name the school. That just happens in our Vidyalayas because nobody has paid attention to sustainability stuff. Sustainability is something which, when I said, I told Ashalata ji about it, she was asking me what exactly you really want to do. Then I told her, explained to her about one principal who does very, very well, and the principal goes, the school crashes. That is clear that they have not paid attention to sustainability of the school. Whatever is the strength of the school should be strengthened more. And that is possible only when we analyze. At any point of time, where our school stands. What are we doing now? Where do we stand in academics? Why do we stand in sports? Where do we stand among the collaboration among the teachers? Whatever the skill development in teachers, we have to evaluate. If something is a strength, it should be strengthened more. And if something is a weak area which we need to work on, we need to see what can be done to make. But in a nutshell, sustainability depends on the systems. It's not depends on persons. That's, I think, the key thing that I would like to give. Wherever a school is driven by systems, it will not have issues of sustainability. If it is a person-driven institution, it's very, very likely that the school will suffer a setback once the person leaves for some reason, which may not be under control also. So think about it. It should become a culture. The Chinmaya way of running a school should become a culture. You have to empower people. At the point when the principal leaves the school, we should have at least 5-6 people from among whom we can select a new principal. Everybody is strongly rooted in the culture of the school. Think about such situations. That will be the glorious situation where school will stand erect. It will never, never fall down. And also, I really like the way Ashalata ji pointed it, that the infrastructure sustainability is also needed. I see some of the schools look run down condition. Nobody has paid attention to the school, the toilets or the classrooms or the furniture. We need to have sustainability even in the infrastructure development. If the school is performing well, nobody can come and change it. It will become a culture of the school to perform well. If sports is the culture, the strength of the school, it will become a culture. So most important factor for a school, and especially to this group of people, I would like to, in my own experience of 44 years I've spent in this field, I can tell you, if you are clear about the sustainability activities that should be encouraged in a school, your school will stand strong for many more years to come. Otherwise, you are going to, any one small thing, one school starts next to your compound, your school will start suffering. One school coming up at the end of the road, your school admissions will go down, your school, everything will suffer. We are all the time challenged. Unless you are sustainable, you are ready for all the challenges. You're having a strong system. Never allow the system to come out of its path, whatever may be the reasons. Have a firm system-based decisions should be based on systems, not on individuals based. I think it's a very big message to all the principals. Think about it. It was a fantastic presentation, Ms. Nina Ashalata ji. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I was wondering how it will be handled here. I can see a lot of things was original work done by you, which I can see very clearly. Not taken from the website or downloaded stuff. She has put it into different categories. She has really understood the topic. I was very, very happy that you did. All the topics today, really we have taken into consideration is what actually we need. If we, as a principal, we need to evaluate what are the sustainability standards in my school. If not, please attend to it. Otherwise, anything, anytime can happen to your school. You cannot have a, think the bask on the glories which is existing today. Tomorrow it may not be there. I'm really giving a warning to you. It can go crash down unless you make it a culture of the school. Culture should be developed in the school. Think about it. I think it's a very, very strong point which all of you need to think about, which will make a real big difference to our schools. Thank you so much, Ashama. I'm really very happy the way you people are working on the presentation. Archana ji also put so much of data into it, and you have also collected. I think more working on it, we do learn a lot. I think it's absolutely amazing the way you people have worked. Thank you so much. And now over to me to introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Amma. Welcome, Geeta Devi ji. Geeta Devi Verma has been the principal of Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kottayam from 2003. She's been the principal there, and she's been working in that school from 1997. And she has come with a varied background of experience. She has worked in international schools like the Indian School, Kuwait, Carmel Convent School in Gwalior, and she's also worked in some school in Mumbai. She is the city coordinator in Kottayam for CBSE, and she is also a resource person for CBSE in her region, and she's the vice president of Kottayam Sahodaya. She's been a vice president of Kottayam Sahodaya for 2 years, and she's a subject expert for CBSE also for 2 years. And she's a member of the CBSE inspection team. So welcome, Geeta Devi Amma, to present the need for research aptitude for teachers. Over to you, Amma.
Hari Om. At the outset, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. My topic for the day, my topic for the day is the need of research aptitude in teachers. It throws light on the new dimensions of teaching and learning. And going through the topic, studying it, I learned a perfect eye-opener it was for me. Every flower blooms at different pace, said Susi Kasser. This just depends upon our teacher preparation while entering a class. Though of the same class, yet different sections or divisions, the needs and requirements of every child varies. It varies from child to child, and so does the teacher presentation herself should change. Teaching and study should be categorized by student-oriented teaching and learning culture. For that, there are two important factors that plays a vital role, and they are aptitude and attitude. Aptitude without attitude is blind, and attitude without aptitude is lame, so said Richard Mason. Here is where a teacher plays the main important role. The role of a teacher has to play an important part in her research-oriented teaching. This is a very wide topic, so I'm just putting on to the main points alone. Research-oriented teaching, or which is mainly called as ROT. That mainly depends upon the student performance. A teacher's performance will always stand along with the student performance. For that, the teacher perception has to change. As I said, it has to change from student to student. The gifted ones as well as the weaker ones should be given equal importance. And we should also set a balance with the emerging trends, the recent changes that have been brought about in the field of education. CBSE also plays a vital role, has introduced many changes, and we teachers through these online modes have become much experienced, especially the new outcome that has come, that is in place is the art integrated learning. Now, the factors, students, they should be taught in such a way that they develop themselves in their 21st century skills, to be a critical thinker, to be a problem solver, encouraging their intuition and creativity, and also their interactive skills. Very important. These are from the part of a teacher. The main factors of research-oriented teaching or research-based teaching, the main ones are the problem solving. Usually, there are many FAQs raised by the teachers. How do I make my classroom joyful? How do I create or inculcate interest and be able to sustain it till the last? Within the teacher method, within the teacher's teaching, a comparison between the teachers also causes undue stress. There again, the teacher comes up, what am I to do different to be an extraordinary teacher? So each area is taken as a critical one, and one has to reflect and study upon it. That includes the independent research. And her experimenting in class are the projects that she does. So same thing that happens with us, with the teacher group, can be implemented in school, in our classrooms alone. For example, the different learning styles can be brought, like active teaching, cooperative learning, the problem-based learning, project method, peer tutoring, which helps in bringing the child to be service-minded, their interactive learning, wherein the weak ones gain confidence. When weak ones gain confidence, and of course the gifted ones also are much confident that they are able to deliver what the teacher has presented. And most important of all is the inquiry-based teaching. Never cut across a question of a student. Never have we to stop a question raised by a student. Our main role again here is to trigger their curiosity and go in pace to pace. Jack Whiten has said, we must find a way of bridging the traditional divide between education theory and professional practice, which is very, very important. That is bridging a gap between the conventional methods of teachings and the most modern technology that we are really opting. And this must include the acquisition of interdisciplinary competencies in the children, in the child. For which again, research is very, very important. By the word research, see, we search for a new thing. We look through again and again until we find it, and have a thorough check about what we found is the true fact or not. So this research is of several types. You have the basic research when it comes on the introduction of scientific theories or improving the understanding or prediction of natural or other phenomena likewise. Applied research is for for a number of applications of science, of systematic inquiry, including the practical. And most important of all is the action research. Action research solves an immediate problem or a reflective process of progress solving. Very, very important it is. And this is the way, this is what we have to apply into our class. Action involves the change, the reflective change that comes in us, and research brings about the understanding at the same time. So both goes hand in hand. Now, what is action research? It is a family of research methodologies, different types of research put into play. And here again, what we can do. What we can do through the action research is, improve the practice that is presently happening in school, as Shanti ma'am had just said, to improve the sustainability of the school activities. The quality of the school, once achieved high, has to be maintained, and it is the role of every stakeholder to maintain it. So there are various principles behind it as how we have to carry it forward. Once again, the teacher and the school administrators should always be research-minded. And we have to have the ability to carry on the research to solving our own problems and arriving at a clear-cut solution. To make the student, teachers, and educational administrators more conscious about their problems and the immediate action that comes. Also, every educational personnel should be cooperative and democratic in their world of work. And this is where action research takes its force. Now, why this action research? Why? It develops a deeper understanding of the subject, develops a positive research attitude in us, that is the inquiry approach, and also progresses into a methodological research skills. It also improves the ability to critically reflect on the research activities and results, help us to gain the experience in collaborative scientific work with teaching researchers, and we also become systematic and prepared for all possible future activities in the R&D department. And this is where it is exploring new ideas. These new ideas can come forth from every person that is involved in the task, be it a student or a teacher. Even a class 4 personnel can come with his or her own new ideas. To assess how effective the new approaches were, that again, we have to analyze and find out whether those activities were really effective. And of course, sharing the feedback is again very important. Types of problems. Types of problems, mainly I have just taken 4 main sections, and that is for teaching and learning. When we take into account the teaching and learning, the conceptual clarity has to be given due importance. Whatever we teach, the clarity in teaching the concepts should be maintained. Wherein I will quote a case study here. A child found physics very difficult, and he plainly says, physics is a very difficult subject for me and I won't learn it. And then the teacher finds time to talk to the child and then finds out what in physics is difficult. And then he says Newton's first law is difficult. The understanding of Newton's first law is difficult. Okay, that comes in class 8. So she goes back to the class 8 portion. She refers to the class 7 portion in helping the child. And then later on, the teacher comes to understand that his concept on motion and inertia was nil. And definitely that caused the problem in him understanding Newton's first law. So here is where the teaching and learning should go hand in hand. First of all, to have the clear concepts, clear understanding of the concepts. Teacher and the student relation should be conducive. Problems of communication among the students. These are all the teaching learning problems. Homework. There are many students who don't attempt to do the homework, especially nowadays when we have these online classes going on. There are many good number of students who attend the class, but then moving out, they forget themselves. Even at times they disable from their video, and just to give a wrong opinion to the teacher that the child is attending the class. His assignments are all incomplete. So these are the areas where the teacher has to work and find the real cause, the root cause of these problems. Speech problems, pronunciation, spelling problems, indifferent attitude towards study, causing disinterest. What is the cause of the disinterest in studies? A regular latecomer to school. And these are some of the problems under the teaching learning. Now coming to the testing and evaluation, problems related to the construction of a question paper, and then the weightage has to be given, the equal balancing of the subjective and the objective questions, all that has to be set in, providing more alternatives in the question paper, striking a balance between the essay type and the objective questions, developing diagnostic tests and related problems, and also to know that whether the child will be able to complete on time. Now, these are the main issues related to testing and evaluation. Now, when it comes to co-curricular activities, again, the lack of interest shown by students in co-curricular activities, the lack of interest in initiating the children participating in the problem. This is from the angle of a teacher, the lack of enthusiasm and the interest from the teachers, problem of systematic organization of co-curricular activities, or lack of requisite facilities in the school, problem of integrating curricular and co-curricular activities. All that comes under the co-curricular activities. So these are the key areas where every teacher, every person of the school can look into it and find the real solution to the problem. Now, how do we process it? You know, process is actually viewing the problem and then sitting together, planning what to do, preparing a required action plan, and again observe whether it goes hand in hand. And after putting it into practice, reviewing, and finally seeing that whether it was done successfully or not. That is very, very important. Now, where all do you find these problems? That is the scope of action research. It happens in the education, so in the educational system, educational administration system, especially now when we are using a lot of technology in the education technology, teaching learning process, the teaching methodology has changed, and there again action research plays a vital role. Educational psychology, that the first speaker, Mrs. Archana Soni, had beautifully presented about the stress and strain caused in children, and here again the psychology to be understood by the teachers is very important. Problematic students, how are we to cater to their needs? Very, very important there. And the areas of action research academically, teaching, learning, reading, writing, discipline, school environment, attendance, all these are very important. Socially, when you look into their social field, the late coming of the teacher, of course, of the teachers, of the students, the incomplete homework, the cooperation, not cooperating with the school, and even their physical deficiency has to be looked into. When you take to the curriculum part, definitely it looks into the syllabus, textbooks, the teacher's diary, and so on. Administration, of course, involves the planning, training, and the timetable. Evaluation. Under the evaluation comes examination tests, the achievement tests, unit tests, diagnostic, mark analysis, and so on. And finally, of course, you have the attitudes, the motivations, the leadership, habits, professional development. All these are vital areas where we have to look into. That's the reason why I said action research is a very, very vast topic. And in fact, it was a real eye-opener for me. Now, one important case, that we can discuss, or I will let you know, is lack of fluent English speaking. Spoken English was very weak in a particular class. And the teacher took it as her strategy, how do we improve it? She concentrated on the learning rather than the chatting and the wasting of time by the students. She improvised on her teaching methods, and then on her intuition, she motivated the children to listen and not to change from that attitude. But still, she did not get her results were not productive. So what again she did? She didn't leave it out, yet she sat back and she empathized herself, standing on the position of the child. She understood hard work and determination are very, very important, and those are the two crucial factors that can be worked upon. What she did was she divided the class into various groups and then gave a topic to be, she first narrated a story, asked them to listen properly, but they were just passive listeners, not responding at all. And then she motivated them, encouraged them, cared for them, understood each child, and picked out a leader from every group and gave them the task of presenting small topics. And then rose their active participation. And she found that every child could be nurtured, could be identified, could be given a positive stroke to come up. And hence she maintained a good relation and she could, in her teaching classes, motivate the students in the same way, share it with the other group of subject teachers, wherein they took an active part, and fortunate enough, within a month's time, a drastic improvement was seen in the class. So very, very important this is. Now this can happen even for the teachers. We can take it among our teachers too. Now as a principal, the method of teaching adopted in every class. For example, those teachers whose subjects are social sciences, arts and humanities usually adopt the discussion method. Whereas those teachers who take the maths and the science classes focus mainly on the project methods or problem-solving methods along with the test and the discussion methods. So here, students' performance is greatly affected by the teacher's awareness and the use of research-oriented teaching. Very important it is. Participating, helping the students participate in workshops, encouraging them, giving them a lot of exposure and opportunities. This really helps to nurture their creative and critical thinking, which improves to a great extent. They come to realize when they talk to others, participating in such programs. Simple things. For example, students of the biology class or grade 9 are very weak in drawing diagrams. So what does the teacher do then? The teacher looks into the detail of every child's diagram, and then she teaches them the tricks to draw and label, and also give them the necessary guidance for a neat diagram. And so that way the problem of the diagram is, presenting good diagrams is made easier. So various other strategies. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And last of all, always remember, when we want to ascend an escalator that is going down, we will need more effort and hard work to achieve it, but it is always possible. Thank you very much. Hari.
Thank you so much, Geetaji. Thank you, Amma. It was a wonderful presentation, actually. It is about, all of us as teachers work in two ways. One is some of us attend to the effects. And research helps us to look into the cause. That's a very basic difference. You see, if somebody is not doing well in mathematics, always not performing well and all of that, so you take remedial classes and stuff like that, where you want him to get some marks. So that's at the effect level that we want. But if you go and analyze, why is the child getting a fear in mathematics? You go to the cause, what happens to him? Because any number of hours of sitting you do with the child, at the examination, one question goes a little tricky, he's again going to spoil the whole paper because he's taken over by something else. He's emotional, he's going to get afraid of the subject and he's not going to perform well. So what we do with the cause, why does it happen? That is what is research. If students are not performing well, I'm a maths teacher, so I'm giving that example. If in a particular school, students are not performing in maths well and a lot of children are failing, and then it is very important to find out what is it that we need to do. Go to the cause and find out why are children having a phobia for maths? What is the fear of? What are they afraid of? And we found it out when one of the schools where I was associated, I could find out the reason. Children were just scared of maths. It could be anything. It could be the teacher. Child doesn't like this teacher. That can have a strict teacher can make a child get phobia. And a confused classroom can create a phobia to a child. And a teacher who compares children can create a phobia in a child. Anything is possible. And once you know the cause, we realize that we need to make mathematics fun. That's the only way we can remove this phobia from the children who are having maths. So what we did, we introduced a lot of fun activities for mathematics. We created fun games. The children used to play games in maths classes. We said, we'll not worry about the syllabus in the junior classes till 8th standard. Let us play with children, play with mathematics. Provided as many number of games and activities for children. And slowly, you have to believe this, it changed. A lot of children came out of that phobia and they started working well. So research is nothing but looking at the cause. What is it happening? Instead of not just going on and on daily basis, you keep on addressing it, and you will see sometimes it will look nice, sometimes they may not come out completely, the problem will not be solved. So another thing is data, using data. We have innumerable amount of data in all our schools. Examination, results, marks, look at the Excel sheet of marks, so much of data available. And what are we doing with the data? To analyze and find out the children are weak in theory. In physics, children are weak in theory exam. Probably these are the question-wise analysis is done by CBSE. This question is not attempted by many children, so that you know what that chapter the child may not have understood. So that's about research. And education cell, I think I don't think anything is left unattended in education. So Swamini Amma has done such a fantastic job. She has introduced Samshodhan. Samshodhan is action research taken by schools. I have to tell you this, not even 10 schools are taking up this forward. Take up research. 2 or 3 of you can get together and take up an issue in your school. Find out the research. I am willing to extend support to every single principal who wants help in that matter. How to conduct research, I can guide you, because the structure is there already. There is a structured facility available in the education cell office, which we have sent it, but people are not utilizing it. So you see, take up this research work, teachers can get group. If problems may be very specific to your school, it may not be a universal problem. Your school specific problem you can take up, and 2-3 teachers can go to the root, conduct surveys and find out what is the cause, why is it happening, and then suggest solution and implement the solution. You will see that changes happen definitely, because it's very scientific. It's very scientific. And also Swamini Amma used to say, we actually spoil that attitude of research in children also. Even in a small classroom, when the child is asked a question, you say in a nursery class, come on, say twinkle, twinkle, little star. The child starts twinkle and little he stammers. The teacher comes, yes, twinkle, twinkle, little star, come on, come on. And you finish it and not let the child think. There's some pacing needed. Some questions you should ask and give a gap for children to think. Let them think about it. What is the answer for this? Up to 12th standard, a question given to them, let it sink in the child. What are you asking? What are the different perspectives available? Thinking schools can encourage the aptitude for research in children. Teachers who think, teachers who know the strategies. The strategy is very important. You cannot jump at answer. You know, I go to schools for inspection. I ask, what is your name? The boy says, Balan, something. Oh, very good. The teacher will say, clap for him. Very good. I said, why clap now? He has to answer in full sentence. You can support the child, say, let him go slowly. Let him get the skills of answering, skills of doing things. That is what is all about attending to the cause. She brought out such beautifully the example. Communication is a problem in your school. You take teachers' research and find out how I can solve it. You may come out with a new solution. No solution is standard. So that was a very wonderful example she gave. Most of our schools have a communication problem. They don't speak properly in English. They have difficulty in communicating, giving answers in full sentence or whatever. They have problems in that. So we need to encourage that. It was very, very well brought out by Geeta Amma. Thank you so much, Geeta Amma. She was talking to me quite a bit and we were exchanging ideas, but your presentation was very, very meaningful, and issues are there. Any issue, you know, you can work on the issues of take out your own school issue. And I want, after this presentation of Geeta Amma, I want all schools to take up research work. We want you to do alternative years. We are not suggesting it. There are few schools, around 10 or 12 schools who are doing it regularly, but not other schools are participating. Every single thing education cell does has a meaningful impact on your schools, and we are here to support you. Meena also can give you help, whatever you need, and there's a structure how you need to do it. Please take action research programs in your own schools. That should be the change after all these efforts taken by the principals here, delivering such wonderful ideas and sharing such talks. I can see the kind of hard work that has gone back home. Thank you so much. All the 3 speakers, all of you did a fantastic job. It's been a very the end of it, and I like to thank few people. Before that, we have Suresh Mohanji, who's been endorsing our program like anything. He has been attending the program and giving us a lot of encouragement. Suresh Mohanji, can I have a few words from you? Just a few minutes. I'll have to unmute you. I'm looking for you. Where are you? Suresh Mohanji. 1 second. I can't find you. One minute. Let me check. I'm checking where he is. Yes. Sorry. Yes, Suresh Mohanji. You can unmute and speak. Yeah.
Hari Om and good morning to all of you. As Shandiji just mentioned, I was lucky, or I had the opportunity to attend almost all the programs conducted in this particular aspect. So first, let me congratulate Shanti Amma for organizing a wonderful program like this, where we had an average of something like 75 to 80 participants on a Saturday. And, you know, not only that, the kind of work which they have put in for making this presentation has been excellent. Now, the main theme of this program, as what Shandiji has summed up, was empowerment of our leaders. This is what I could understand. Now, because this is a program specifically for the principals and vice principals. And I think through this, we are sure that, you know, our leaders of our Vidyalayas will definitely get empowered. See, the positive outcomes of this could be, you know, varying. But what I want to stress is only 2 points. Out of this kind of programs, you have an enabling process as well as a burdening process. So let this process not be a burdening process, because I know all the principals and vice principals have enough, starting from the stress to this, whatever it is. So our aim is to make this kind of programs an enabling process. CCMT Education Cell's main aim is not to burden our leaders. We want them to be enabled so that the outcome will be really positive. And the topics which we have covered in the last 1 month or 2 months of, I don't know, of the many programs has been excellent. It was like a bouquet of, you know, things coming in, and with a rainbow effect, you know, with all colorful principals presenting colorful subjects. It has been very interesting. And I congratulate Shanti Amma once again, though she is a part of our education cell. I request that she could come out with similar program on a different kind of, you know, platforms. In the sense, topics can be different. We could even have, you know, model classes being done by very experienced teachers, so that, you know, a kind of feel will be there for others to see how, for example, you know, when Shanti Amma sums up, her presentation is always superior than others. I'm not putting it in that way, but, you know, you can see that experience flows from her, you know. There is no barrier. It is a seamless way in which she has been able to put. That's what we want all our principals, vice principals, and you inculcate this downstream so that we develop our other second level with enabling them, not burdening them. Thank you and all the best.